Good evening. I'm Rhonda at Carnivore Leo, bringing you news you can use from the community. Tonight's topic is about the importance of having a positive mindset. Our mindset can determine whether or not we are successful in our daily lives. JT at the Poco Moonshine family often talks about having a positive mindset on his channel, and he discusses several universal laws. JT mentioned his coach was Bob Proctor, who taught him about the universal laws that changed his mindset and his life. These universal laws can be applied to every area of our lives, including the carnivore lifestyle. There are many universal laws, and I'm going to cover a few of the ones that resonated with me the most. The first law is the law of polarity. By understanding this law, we will be able to view life's challenges with a different perspective. Simply put, everything has an opposite: light and darkness, hot and cold, joy and sorrow, the yin and the yang, a positive and a negative. We can choose to think negative or choose to think positive, but we can't think both at the same time. As a society, we have been programmed or conditioned to hear negative information. We are bombarded by the news, which consists of mostly bad reports of what's going on in the world. In many of our careers, we are constantly putting out fires, and the stress of that negative energy can impact our health. Changing our mindset to be more positive can improve our well-being. If our mind is stuck in negativity, our reality reflects it. For example, focusing upon a solution brings positive emotion. Focusing upon a problem brings negative emotion. While the differences are subtle, they are very important, because when we are feeling positive emotion, we are attracting positive things into our experience. When we are feeling negative emotion, we are in the process of attracting more negative things. I've noticed that when talking with certain family members or friends, that they are almost always talking about things that are going wrong in their lives, or they're rehashing the negative news that they've heard from the TV or the radio. When we are entertaining negative thoughts, we are attracting more of that into our experience. Bob Proctor stated that we have to train our mind to think or look for the positive or the good in all things. He said we may have to look to find out what it is, but there's something good in everything. With the law of polarity, there has to be a positive and a negative for anything to exist. There's negative thoughts or positive thoughts. As the thought of energy flows into our mind, we decide what we are going to think. For example, with our carnivore lifestyle, we can decide that this way of eating is hard and too restrictive, or we can decide that it is easy and that there's plenty of variety. We can decide if we are going to be successful or not. The law of polarity segues into another universal law called the law of vibration, and its secondary law, the law of attraction. Everyone is utilizing it, whether they realize it or not. We are attracting what we are in harmony with. What we focus on, we attract. When we dwell on positivity, positivity flows to us. When we stress about negativity, negativity ensues. It's like tuning a radio. Our frequency decides the station we get. Instead of tuning our frequency on the things we don't want or don't have, we should tune in on the things we do want and appreciate what we do have. It makes no difference whether we want the specifics of it or not. It is the vibrational essence of the subject of our attention that is being attracted. With the carnivore lifestyle, we are more likely to be successful if we have a positive mindset, set an intentional goal, and actively visualize and assume that the outcome we desire is already manifested. Our thoughts equal our point of attraction, and if we focus upon it long enough, it will become our reality. We attract all of the energy that is necessary to produce the physical result. How we do that is by intellectually and emotionally staying in the vibration of the good that we desire, where we see it already in the present tense. That keeps us on the frequency, and that frequency then dictates what we are going to attract. We can only attract to us what's in harmonious vibration with us. In other words, what we give our thought to, we begin to invite into our experience. Our thoughts are powerful, attractive magnets, attracting one to another. Thoughts attract to themselves, and we attract thoughts to us by giving our attention to them. Those who speak most of well-being have it. Those who speak most of sickness have it. The law of attraction and its magnetic power reaches out into the universe and attracts other thoughts that are vibrationally like it and brings that to us. And so we are getting the essence of what we are thinking about, whether it is something we want or something that we do not want. Another law Bob Proctor talks about is the law of cause and effect. All outputs or actions have consequences, and these consequences are either good or bad and may have a positive or negative influence on ourselves or others. With the carnivore lifestyle, what we put into our bodies will have a cause and effect on us. For example, if we put toxic frankenfood into our bodies, it will cause us to become inflamed, and the long-term effect will be disease. Bob Proctor also talks about the vacuum law, which basically is that we must create a space for the good that we desire. When you make a space for the good desire, that's when the good is going to come. A good illustration of this law is when Steve Harvey told a story about when he lived with his mom, and every payday he would come home and say to her that he was saving up for a new car. His mom would always reply, "Yeah, I know, but your old car is out in the backyard on cylinder blocks." One day, Steve finally had the nerve to ask his mom why every time he got paid and tried to say something positive to her about him getting a new car, that she kept telling him about his old car being out in the backyard on cylinder blocks. She replied, "Son, you don't have anywhere to put a new car." Afterward, Steve called a friend and had his old car towed. He cleaned out his driveway and removed those cylinder blocks. 2 weeks later, Steve had a new car. So based on the vacuum law, Steve couldn't put a new car in the space where his old car was until he got rid of his old car. If we don't create the space for it, we are not going to get it. We need to make space for new ideas by letting go of old ideas. We have to let go of the negativity to receive positivity. The same with the carnivore lifestyle. We must let go of our old thinking about the standard American diet. We must clear out all of the highly processed foods from our refrigerator and cupboards in order to make space for the nutritious foods that will allow us to be successful with this lifestyle. Some of you may or may not agree with these teachings. Personally, I do agree with these universal laws and believe that they are part of God's creation. I believe changing our mindset using these universal laws will bring us better results in every area of our lives, including the carnivore lifestyle. This has been news you can use from the community. Good night.